here with you all. I just am so excited that members of Kitselas First Nation, local government leaders, local business leaders, community leaders from Kitselas territory, from up in the Northwest, are all here today with us on the Lekwungen-speaking people's territories, the Songhees and Esquimalt, Cosamson people. I want to thank them. I want to thank their chiefs and councils for their leadership and for working with us and working to protect these lands, which we all work on in such a good way over so many years. And welcome to all those watching virtually. I know there are many people who've worked on this over many years who are watching this today from home. Because it's a bit of a distance, and I really acknowledge our friends from the Northwest for coming down here to the People's House, your house, to do this work with us today. My name is Spencer Chandra Herbert. I'm proud to be your Minister for Indigenous Relations and Reconciliation, and even prouder to be here today as we talk about taking the next steps together on this Kitselas Treaty journey. I'm honored, of course, to be here with our Premier, David Eby, as you know, our Deputy Chief Councillor, Cyril Bennett-Nabes, and the CAO of Kitselas Nation, Linda Morvan. We've gathered today to mark a historic step, and it's a historic step because this House has not seen the introduction of treaties, I was going to say 14 years ago, but of course we celebrated yesterday with the Comox Treaty. But these two steps that we're taking today are historic because this province, as you know, is a province that mostly did not do treaty. And we should have, but we're doing what we should have done 150 years ago today. And that's a very exciting moment for us all to be doing the work that for many of us and for many of Kitselas, grandparents, grandmothers, going even farther back have dreamed of it. I think of the late Mel Bevan, who Chief Bennett has told me so much about. So I'd like to introduce, before we take any further steps, Linda Morvan to help lead us in prayer. Linda, welcome.
Bring the mic down. What an absolutely beautiful day, wonderful day to witness this historic event for Kitselas. We're very happy to be here, and as you heard from CJ yesterday, Cyril Bennett-Nabes yesterday, we came to Victoria with heavy hearts, with the passing of one of our community members. So we just ask that you keep the Bennett family in your thoughts and in your prayers as we move forward today. Thank you, Creator, for this beautiful day. We thank you for the goodness and the light and love that you bring into our lives. And your God, we ask for your blessings, your continued blessings. We ask for your blessings on this day. We ask for your blessings on each and every one in this room, and we ask for just to help us move forward in a good way for the rest of this day and as we enter the chamber today to witness this historic event. All this we ask in your most blessed name. Amtum Wilt.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you for acknowledging the Bennett family and, of course, anyone in the room who has those connections. Of course, we're all thinking of you as you both deal with loss and deal with new beginnings together in this way. I'd now like to invite our Premier, who's been a big supporter of this treaty all the way through, Premier David Eby.
Thanks very much, Spencer. Thank you, Deputy Chief Bennett-Nabes. Nice to see you. My dear friend Linda, thank you for starting us off in such a good way. It's wonderful to see you, and welcome to the Kitselas people who are joining us here today for such an important and historic day in our shared province. This is a day in which long-standing injustice moves closer to being addressed and fixed. It is long overdue. It is 30 years. The Kitselas people, more than 30 years, Kitselas people have been working with the provincial government, with the federal government, seeking an agreement to provide certainty for the Kitselas people about their territory, which they never ceded, which they insisted government recognize. And it took 30 years to get here, but I am very proud and honored to be the Premier on duty when you finally get it across the line with the provincial government. You are an incredible example of the dedication that is needed to do this work and the dedication and resilience of a people who refused to bow down and do anything other than insist that your rights and title be recognized. You should all feel exceptionally proud of the progress that you've made, and it's a great honor for me to be here as your work continues. For British Columbians, it's important for us all to know that our province is unique in Canada in the sense that this was a province where the government of the day, when moving west, decided to stop signing treaties. They didn't believe in them. There were a couple of treaties signed in British Columbia, but for the most part, the province was settled without treaty. That approach held for many years until the year 2000, when government decided that modern treaties, agreements with nations would be part of how we respond to our relationship as a provincial government with First Nations through the Nisga'a Treaty. From that time, we have had modern treaties signed with a number of nations, but we have not, as the minister noted, seen a modern treaty in this legislature since the Tla'amin Treaty, which took effect in 2016. To have not one, but two treaties in 2 days in this legislature is, I hope, an example to British Columbians and to Canadians that we are committed to the important work of partnership with First Nations in addressing these historic issues. It does come down to a choice for provincial government, for federal government, whether to battle it out in court through conflict and uncertainty, or to sit down with partners and to try to find a path forward together. The patience and the endurance of the Kitselas people through multiple administrations to get to this day is profound, and I commit to you that our government will continue to be a government that is interested in finding that path forward outside of conflict. There's someone standing beside the button right now. The historic news to share with British Columbians today, which you are all very familiar with, is that today we will be introducing the Kitselas Treaty Act in the provincial legislature. This is the first step of official ratification of this treaty with the provincial and federal governments for the Kitselas people. When it passes, when it becomes law at the provincial and federal level, it does not extinguish rights. It recognizes the Indigenous rights and title of the Kitselas First Nation, and it will lay out negotiated approaches to self-government for the Kitselas people. This will bring certainty. This will bring opportunity. This will bring a future of a healthy and strong community for the Kitselas people, but not just for the Kitselas, for the entire region and for our province, because we know that until these issues are addressed, we cannot take comfort in the fact that we have addressed all of the historic wrongs that were done to Indigenous people in this province. This takes us one step closer to where we need to be. And the amazing thing about this work is that it doesn't just feel good. It doesn't just feel like the right thing to do. It actually lifts up everybody. It lifts up our treaty partners. It lifts up the people of British Columbia. And what we will see in the region are increased jobs, opportunity, and prosperity, not just for the Kitselas, but for the entire region. It is an honor for me to bear witness to this historic milestone for the Kitselas people. This is a path to the certainty and the framework and the self-governance that you seek, and to the prosperity that we all seek for our shared province and country. Together, we are building a better province for everybody. Thank you so much for coming here today, and congratulations.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Premier. And yes, turn off your cell phones. I just wanted to note that I do see the Mayor of Terrace here. I see a local MLA and many others who've helped on that local level. And I also see, of course, our Chief Commissioner, George Abbott, and Chief Commissioner during much of this time, Celeste Haldane from the BC Treaty Commission, who none of this work would have been possible without the Treaty Commission. So I just want to give them a shout out too, and clear acknowledgement for their work, helping us all find this path together. Now, without further ado, I am excited to introduce to you Deputy Chief Cyril Bennett Nabes. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Our provincial leadership are very tall. Why sim gigat sigram hana le higat gabawalsik lust bike knots dawayu gitaus gitsalasu sidsu no waps jualax ganhada adano waps lach steel lach gibu toyax adnisum sim gigetum gitsalasu toyax adnisum gitsalasu liklit ada gabahgult. It is with great honor that I stand here today, and I thank my community members for being here to support myself and the team during this time. It's with great honor that I stand here and also send the regrets of our Chief Counselor, Mr. Glenn Bennett, who is unable to be here at this time. I would also like to acknowledge the kind words of the Minister, Mr. Chandra Herbert, and also the Premier, Mr. David Eby. And one thing that I heard from both of them that I would like to repeat, in that this treaty is not just a treaty for Kitselas, but it is a treaty for the province of British Columbia, a means of moving forward together. When our people began this work over 30 years ago, we began this work with Canada and British Columbia with the understanding that at some point we would reach an agreement. At the beginning of that work, it was led by Samoagat Satsan, Mr. Mel Bevan, who, up until the signing of the treaty, led this work. One of his very last acts on this earth before he began his next journey was to sign and initial the Kitselas Treaty prior to its ratification. Other people that we have lost along this way, not necessarily lost, but continued their own journey, I would like to acknowledge them. People like Morris Mason, who was the treaty researcher, Samoagat Neats, who contributed so much to Kitselas in terms of our treaty settlement lands. When communities think about treaties beyond their own, we quite often look at the big picture. But within the treaty, within its appendices, it identifies the Kitselas lands, the Kitselas Treaty Settlement lands. And those lands, they make up about and only 10 square miles. A very, very concentrated area on the Skeena in which our people petitioned for at the turn of the century. And through this treaty, we have achieved that. We have achieved it not only as a community, but working together with British Columbia and Canada, something that our forefathers set out to do at the turn of the century, something that they wanted so much for our people. On this document, it's the BC Minutes of Decision, Box 8, that's available in the Union of BC Indian Chiefs online database. It identifies this area from an area called Xigingat all the way down to Gunspa. Areas that today we know as LaCroix Creek and Culspi, where our elders live, below the Terrace Airport. So when you fly into Terrace, you fly right over our community. This area means the world to our community. Not only does it mean the world to our community, but it is our home. And that is the area that we will focus on in terms of our communal and our nation developments. We look forward to the hard work ahead as the work has now begun. We also acknowledge all of those who contributed so much to today. Our legal counsel, our community, our people. And when I say our legal counsel, I think about my Métis uncle, Mark Stevenson, and who his Métis last name is Lahandrel. I also think about Albert Peeling, our constitutional lawyer, who would travel up to work with the people of Kitselas and dedicated so much of his time toward assisting us with the development of our Constitution and our treaty. I also want to acknowledge the hard work of Dr. David Eby, the Treaty Office's senior negotiator, who led us through to today, following the passing of Mr. Mel Bevan. Dr. David Try's work predates that in Kitselas, where he brought his knowledge from working with the federal government to our home to assist us in the work that we're doing. We acknowledge that, and we thank you for your hard work. I also want to acknowledge Samoyed Chief Troy Sam, who is here from Kitsim-Kalem, our neighboring community. I raise my hands to you, and I thank you for being here to support us. And know that on your day, when your treaty is being adopted and passed and going through its first reading in the legislation, we will be there for you. Toyak Sidnissim. And above all, I want to thank the people of Kitselas. For without the people, none of this work would have been possible. None of this work would have been meaningful. I often reflect back to our early days of treaty meetings, our early days of ironing out the lumps in the sheet. Just like a mountain, when there's a mountain there, you don't know what's on the other side of it until you go around it or go over it. And I'm happy to say that our community, as a people, we overcame that mountain. We overcame a struggle, an enduring struggle of over 113 years. From the time the Indian Act was implemented within our communities to the ratification of the Kitselas Treaty in April of last year. I'm ever so grateful that our elders are here, to be here, to witness this, and support this work. We have some gifts that we would like to give out as an acknowledgement for the hard work. There are 2 prints. I'm just describing them because the very first one is not our gift. It's the provincial. Thank you so much.
Can I first present this one? Along with the BC Premier, of course, we would like to present the Kitselas a copy of Bill 21, the Kitselas Treaty Act, which I will have the pleasure and honor of introducing in the legislature in a little while today. And so please accept this. It's so good to be able to do this with you. Premier, do you want to? Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. Oh, yes. Sorry. Hey, I'll set this here for you.
This is edition 2. I just got to look at the editions on them. Okay.
Edition 1, edition
Okay.
2.
So these beautiful prints are block prints that were made by my teacher and Smoigat Satsan, Mr. Stan Bevan. If he may stand up and be recognized, please. Stan Bevan is an amazing person. He taught so many of our people, our culture, our art, and our ways. And it is because of him, much of our people in our community, including myself, are fluent in the way of our ancestors in how we constructed our traditional art forms. So I really want to recognize Stan for his hard work that he has continued to carry out. These prints are titled The Transfer. As you can see on the image, there is a raven and a person with the tongues connected. In the Royal BC Museum and in museums across Canada and the world, when you look at Northwest Coast art from the west coast of British Columbia, you see similarities. You see unique things that are attributed to the style. And a part of that is the connection of the figures, the connection that the art provides to the people. In that, there is a transfer taking place, a transfer of knowledge, a continuation. And that's what makes these so special, because of the hard work that each of these men, with regard to our work in the passing, the first reading of the Kitselas Treaty. I would be honored to gift each of these to you, Mr. Premier, and you, Mr. Minister, on behalf of the people of Kitselas. And I have very strict instructions on how to gift them. So before I gift them to you, I would like to take them back and hand them to you. So this first print, I would be honored to gift to our Premier, Mr. David Eby, an acknowledgement of your hard work and the hard work of your government. And when I say government, I mean the whole house. An acknowledgement of who you are and the people you represent. Thank you so much, Mr. Premier.
Thank you so much.
And I would like to gift the second print to Minister Spencer Chandra Herbert, an acknowledgement for the hard work that his ministry, himself, and his predecessors have carried out, not only on behalf of British Columbians and Canada, but also the people of Kitselas. May we continue to move forward together in good faith.
Wow, okay, thank you. I just think this image of exchange, of transfer, of togetherness is one that I know I'll put up on the ministry office wall for us to look at every day and remind us about how we are stronger together and how we learn more together and how that it is a reciprocal relationship and that it must be, and that walking together means walking together, not one in front, not one behind, but together. So that will officially wrap our official program here today. In a little while, I will be able to introduce the legislation in the People's House. Of course, we have a little thing called question period, which will occur before that. Don't let that sour your mood. But we will do that part first, and then, of course, we'll proceed with the procession, and then the actual introduction of the legislation and the speeches in the House from members about this historic moment. So it's so good to be here with you all today. We will see you in a little bit of time in the People's House, and then again in the future as we do other exciting things together. Thank you, Deputy Chief. Thank you, Linda. Thanks, everyone, for being here today, and congratulations on taking this next step together. Thank you, everyone.